Hello, lovely people. So I'm reading the Corpus Hermeticum, The Way of Hermes, and this translation is Clement, Oyen and Wharton. We're on Book 9, Hermes to Asclepius. Yesterday, O Asclepius, I spoke about the teaching as a whole, and now I consider it necessary to follow that and speak in detail about the subject of sense perception. The sensory perception and understanding may seem to differ. One is connected with matter and the other with being. To me, they both seem to be one and without difference. I mean in man. For in other living beings, sense is one with nature, but there is understanding in man. Nous differs as much from understanding as God does from divinity. Divinity comes from God, as understanding, being akin to the word, comes from nous. In fact, understanding and the word are instruments of each other, for neither is the word spoken without understanding, nor does understanding appear without the word. Now sense and understanding both flow together in man as they are entwined with each other. It's neither possible to understand without sense, nor to sense without understanding. Is it possible to understand without sense, even when people imagine visible objects in dreams? For it seems to me that both these activities have taken place in the dream vision, since they are both aroused in sense, which partly belongs to the body and partly to the soul. And whenever both parts of sense are in unison, understanding arises, being born from nous. Nous brings forth all concepts, good ones when it receives the seed from God, and the opposite when it receives them from one of the demons, there being no part of the cosmos that is free from demons. As the demon receives its illumination from God, it steals in and sows the seed of its own workings, and nous brings to birth what has been sown. Adultery, murder, violence to one's father, sacrilege, ungodliness, strangling, suicide from a cliff, and all such other demonic actions. Few are the seeds of God, but they are mighty, beautiful and good. Virtue, self-control and devotion to God. Devotion to God is knowledge of God. He who has discovered it is filled with all that is good, and he is endowed with divine understanding, which is not like the understanding of the multitude. Therefore, those who are seated in knowledge neither please the multitude, nor does the multitude please them. They seem to be mad and have become a laughing-stock. They are hated and despised, and may even be put to death. Evil, we say, must needs live down here in its own country. Its country is the earth, but not the cosmos, as some will blasphemously affirm. However, the man who fears God will support all, since he has realized true knowledge, for to such a man all things are good, even those that are evil for others. When entangled with difficulties, he refers all things to true knowledge. He alone turns evil into good. I return again to the subject of sense perception. For to use the senses with understanding is the property of man. But as I said before, not every man is capable of understanding. For one kind of man is concerned with material things, and another with being. As I've said, the materialist, in the midst of evil, receives the seed of his understanding from the demons. The other men, surrounded by goodness, are in their being preserved by God. God, the creator of all things, in creating them, creates them in the likeness of himself, as they have been made good. He keeps them in view while they perform their activities. The friction of the cosmos produces different kinds of generations, making some foul by evil, purifying others by goodness. The cosmos, O Asclepius, has its own sense and understanding, not such as in man, not diversified, but more excellent and simple. For the sense perception and understanding of the cosmos are one. They are an instrument of God's will to create all things and to return them to that one. The cosmos was in fact made an instrument for creating all beings within itself, fit for its use, by preserving within itself all the seeds which it had received from God. It was made an instrument for renewing all things by dissolving them, and like the good farmer of life, for offering to bring them, once dissolved, renewal through transformation. There is nothing to which he does not give life. He gives life to things by moving them. At one and the same time, he is space and the creator of life. The bodies made from matter are diverse. Some are from earth, some from water, some from air, and some from fire. All is compounded of parts, some more complex, others simpler. The more complex are heavier, and the simpler lighter. The rapid motion of the turning cosmos produces the varied qualities of beings. The blast of air from this is continuous and lends qualities to bodies as well as the abundance of life. God is the father of the cosmos. The cosmos is the father of those within the cosmos. The cosmos is the son of God, and those within the cosmos have been created by the cosmos. The cosmos has been aptly named order, for it gives order to all things through the diversity of their origin and the continuity of life, though untiring activity and the speed of desire, through the shadow of the elements and the giving of order to what comes into being. That it should be called order is both necessary and fitting. Thus the sense perception and understanding of all that lives come in from outside. They breathe by means of that which contains them, but the cosmos receives sense perception and understanding once and for all at the time it was born, and having received them from God, it keeps them. But God is not, as some will think, without sense perception and without understanding. Through their very piety such men blaspheme. For, O Asclepius, all things that are exist in God. They have been brought forth by God and depend upon him. Some work through bodies, others make things move through the soul, some lend life through breath, others receive the dead remains. All this is just. I should rather say that God does not contain these beings, but to tell the truth, he is them all. He does not take them in from outside, but issues them out. This is the sense perception and understanding of God, ever to move all beings, and there will never be a time when anything will be left without him. Whenever I speak of beings, I speak of God, for God supports beings, and nothing is outside him, and he outside nothing. O Asclepius, these things will seem true to you if you understand them. But if you remain ignorant, they are beyond belief. To understand them is to take them as true, and not to understand them is to take them as untrue. My discourse leads to the truth. The mind is great, and guided by this teaching may arrive at the truth. When the mind has comprehended all things and found them to be in harmony with what has been expounded by the teaching, it takes them to be true and comes to rest in that beautiful truth. Those who understand through God hold what has just been spoken to be true, but those who do not understand do not believe it. Let this much be said about understanding and sense perception. Okay, that was book 9 of the Corpus Hermeticum. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you at book 10.